Hey guys, I'm Dr. Anthony Gustin.
Oh, and I'm Chris Irvin.
This is question number 41 of 268 questions that we answer in Keto Answers, a book that has answers to a bunch of questions, 268 of them. So 41.
Number 41 is, how does the ketogenic diet improve brain health and function?
Oh man, your brain loves those ketones.
It does.
Sucks them up.
Yeah. Preferred fuel source of the brain, right?
So to think about, so people think that if you're running on ketosis, if you're in ketosis, you switch from just burning carbs for energy or burning fat for energy. So you're going from using glucose to using ketones. It's not that simple. So your blood glucose doesn't go from 80, 90 when you're non-ketosis to 0 and just ketones in your bloodstream. It doesn't switch it out one for one. So you actually have both fuel sources in the body at a time. Even if you're eating a lot of carbohydrates when you're sleeping overnight, you're going to have some ketones starting to flow around from the bloodstream. You just have a higher concentration of them when you're in ketosis. And it's for a reason. So some tissues prefer and can only run on glucose. And some tissues prefer ketones. So brain, what does the brain prefer?
Ketones. Yeah, so there's two things that we can unpack here. The question, if you listen carefully to it, it's how does keto impact or how does it improve brain health and function?
Health and function.
Both of them occur, and that's exactly right in how this occurs. So the big difference between ketones and glucose is that glucose is, and this is something that's been really brilliantly explained by Dr. Stephen Cunnane, if anybody's familiar with his work.
I thought you were going to say me. A few seconds ago.
He talks about it okay too sometimes. But so glucose is pulled into our brain based on a demand of energy by the brain. So our brain has a massive energy demand, and when we're only using glucose, we're pulling that glucose in based on how much energy demand the brain has. But ketones, interestingly enough, get pushed into the brain based on their availability in the blood. So we can actually, whereas eating a bowl of ice cream and providing more glucose isn't going to provide more energy to your brain, getting more ketones in your blood can provide more energy to your brain, and this is one of the ways that keto can improve our brain function. But even more important than just improving our brain function is that when we're primarily metabolizing these ketones, we're also improving our brain health. And the reason why this is going to occur is one, and this also relates to the function of the function of our brain, is that we are providing more energy through ketones, because when we break down ketones, it leads to more energy than when we're breaking down glucose. But we're also producing less reactive oxygen species or promoting inflammation in the brain. So because our brain has such a massive energy demand, when it's metabolizing a lot of glucose, like it would be on a higher carbohydrate diet, we're going to be promoting a lot more inflammation in the brain, which is going to be something that's going to contribute to poor brain health as we get older.
Yeah. So the way we process energy and process ketones, again, in the brain, and this is why we've seen with concussions, for example, traumatic brain injury, your ability to clear out waste products gets sort of diminished, and having ketones come in and being processed with less oxygen leads to less reactive oxygen species, less inflammation, better clearance, better recovery rates, things like that.
Yeah, and what also is, I think, so interesting and a great luxury of when your brain's using ketones is that, Dr. Gustin talked about how we have both ketones and glucose available, and interestingly enough, when our brain is and when our cells are metabolizing ketones, glucose can actually be shuttled towards a different metabolic pathway that actually increases antioxidant production. So now when we're metabolizing these ketones, glucose can be used in a different way that is actually more beneficial to our brain health and overall health as well.
So yeah, sip on those ketones.
Good for you, baby.
If you're looking to simplify everything you need to know about the world's most confusing diet, head on over to Amazon.com and pick up Keto Answers today. The best part about it is that you're not just getting basic information. It's almost like you're getting a tiny little version of me and Chris shrunk down, put in your pocket to answer every question you have along your way.
And that's not weird, it's beneficial.
It's the best.